Baker Miller pink, also known as P618, Schaus pink, or drunk tank pink, is a tone of pink that has been observed to temporarily reduce hostile, violent, or aggressive behavior. Often described as a bubblegum, Barbie, or even a Pepto-Bismol shade of pink, it was developed in the 1970s by research scientist Alexander Schaus, who had been studying human responses to the color pink. Schaus did extensive research into the effects of the color on emotions at the Naval Correctional Facility in Seattle, Washington. In early tests, Schaus had done a study where he showed that subjects were physically weaker after staring at a large square of pink paper, especially after exercising, with a marked effect on the subjects having lower heart rates, pulse, and respiration compared to other colors. Schaus also began to experiment on himself. With the help of his research assistant, he discovered that a particular shade of pink had the most profound effect. He labeled this tone of pink P618. In 1979, he convinced the Institute directors Jean Baker and Ron Miller to give their permission to paint a holding cell at their facility the pink color. And once the new inmates were exposed to the color, they were noticeably less aggressive and hostile. Schaus renamed the color after Baker and Miller. Baker Miller pink is now the official name of the color, but the name drunk tank pink is also widely used. Subsequent experiments also concluded this shade could also act as a natural appetite suppressant. As word got around about the benefits of pink decor, psychiatric units and other holding areas were painted Baker Miller pink. Custodians reported quieter inmates and less physical and verbal abuse. There has, however, been some conflicting studies. While the results of Schaus's study at the Naval Correctional Facility in Seattle showed that Baker Miller pink had some positive and calming effects on prisoners, when the same pink was employed at the main jail in Santa Clara County, California, the prison incident rate increased and even peaked compared to pre-pink months, despite a small decrease in the first month. Some researchers believe that the symbolism of pink being seen as a feminine color was a bias in the results of Schaus's studies, highlighting in particular the overrepresentation of male prisoners among the study participants. In fact, Schaus performed the experiment on women only once, in a study that did not lead to satisfactory results. There is no proof that the reaction to the color lasted longer than 15 to 30 minutes, but some say the precise shade of pink hasn't always been used in every experiment. Since the early 20th century in Western culture, the color pink from birth is assigned to baby girls and blue is assigned to baby boys. In human psychology, we have come to connect the color to femininity and its corresponding gender stereotypes: weakness, shyness, and tranquility.
Now on, girls! Pink, pink! Pink's for all the family! Try pink shampoo! Pink toothpaste too!
But according to historians, pink didn't always automatically signal femininity. Pink became the default color for all things girly only after World War II. Before then, it was common for girls to wear blue, while mothers would often dress their boys in pink. Some historians say the switch traces back to Nazi Germany. Just as the Nazis forced Jewish people to wear yellow badges to identify themselves, they also forced gay men to wear pink badges. The pink triangle has since been reclaimed by the LGBTQIA+ movement and is now used as a symbol of resistance and solidarity. It is said ever since then, pink has been thought of as a non-masculine color, reserved for girls.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Leading researchers to believe imposing pink on the male detainees could be seen as a psychological attempt from the jailer to deprive the prisoners of their masculinity. The color has also been known to be used in opposing football teams' locker rooms. The University of Iowa actually painted the opponent's locker room pink in their football stadium. In the early 1980s, former coach Hayden Fry, who earned a master's degree in psychology, put the Schaus studies into practice to reduce the strength of the opponents to win matches more easily. Yet, like the prisons, this could be having the unintended opposite effect. Some opposing players have reported being more fired up by the perceived insult of the pink locker rooms.
Pink. The universal color of love, friendship, and harmony. But here, you don't feel any of that. You feel docile, sad, weak, and pathetic. This isn't love. It's disrespect. And that's the point. They're in your head.
There have been many protesters who have criticized the locker room gimmick over the past few decades. There are also several pop culture references to the color, including a 2013 book entitled Drunk Tank Pink. The book describes how features of the environment, including color, shape how people think, feel, and behave. A chapter in William Gibson's 2020 novel Agency is entitled Baker Miller Pink, referring to the color a character had painted their living room. The second album by British post-punk band Shame, released in 2021, is entitled Drunk Tank Pink, There is also the band Baker's Pink, named after the Baker-Miller pink phenomenon. In 2017, a social media post by model Kendall Jenner claimed she had her walls painted Baker-Miller pink for its calming and supposed appetite-suppressing effects. A fashion brand even created a hoodie in Baker-Miller pink, designed for warm-ups and warm-downs, which when zipped up claims to reduce the wearer's heart rate and slow their breathing by reducing oxygen intake. Most modern scientists and researchers claim the color's effect are anecdotal at best. In terms of solid science experimentation, they don't return striking results and seem to have a very small marginal effect. Perhaps the most concrete assertion is that colors can work more as mental reminders. Does the color really work to calm us, or is it just the mere suggestion that it works enough to cause the desired effect?